aircraft carrier is a type of large warship that serves as a floating airbase in the ocean. With a spacious flight deck, an aircraft carrier can launch, land, and store various types of fighter planes, helicopters, and reconnaissance aircraft. This makes it a key strategic asset for navies in long-range military operations, both for defense and attack. Aircraft carriers are often considered the core of a country's naval power for several strategic and operational reasons. Of course, all countries want to own such assets. As we know, Indonesia currently does not have a large aircraft carrier. So, are aircraft carriers really not needed or not a priority? Recently, this topic has been discussed again among netizens. Quoting news from the Jakarta zone, Indonesia plans to build an aircraft carrier to fulfill its naval needs. According to Antara News on September 24th of the year 2024, in an article entitled PT PAL said that the new government has a target to build an aircraft carrier. This was confirmed by the president-director of PT PAL Indonesia, Kaharudin Jenud, who revealed that the new government has a target of building aircraft carriers to strengthen Indonesia's maritime defense. Aircraft carriers will be one of the targets in the new government to be built, said Kaharudin Jenud during the PAL Goes to Campus event at Gadjah Mada University, Sleman, Yogyakarta. Indonesia is planning to build an aircraft carrier as part of efforts to strengthen the country's sea defense fleet. PT PAL Indonesia, a major maritime company in Indonesia, is working with various international and domestic parties to develop various types of ships, and including aircraft carriers. This is in line with the new Prabowo government's commitment to improve Indonesia's defense capabilities, especially in the maritime sector. The project will also involve the development of submarine technology and other warships. This move demonstrates Indonesia's ambition to strengthen its strategic position in the Asian region with a focus on improving the strength of its naval fleet. With this ambitious project, Indonesia is showing that the future of the country's maritime defense is being built, and the aircraft carrier will become one of the symbols of Indonesia's strength and independence in the international world. So, is it true that this will be realized in Indonesia? If so, how great will the aircraft carrier that will be made by Indonesia be? Speaking of aircraft carriers, how sophisticated is the world's strongest aircraft carrier? Therefore, let's discuss thoroughly how an aircraft carrier works, starting from the role of each crew, weapons system, and defense system. The aircraft carrier is often referred to as one of the most dangerous places in the world because all activities on it are organized with mature strategies and tactics, covering all war operations both at sea and in the air. For example, the duties of each crew are arranged based on the color of clothing. Each color indicates the crew's specific role in aircraft carrier operations. First, the color yellow. Yellow denotes the highest position on the aircraft carrier's runway. The crew wearing these yellow uniforms are known as plane directors, who are responsible for directing the aircraft during takeoff and landing, as well as making sure everything goes safely. Next is the color blue. The blue represents the role of an assistant to the officers in yellow. These blue-clad crews assist in various tasks on the runway, including carrying equipment and ensuring all the necessities for aircraft operations. The green-clad crew is most commonly seen on the carrier's runway deck. These crews are responsible for preparing everything on the runway, including slingshots, perifel, and other essential equipment needed to support flight operations. The green-clad crew also includes the task of refueling fighters on the runway, keeping the aircraft ready for the next mission. There is also a white color. The white color signifies the crew responsible for quality control, troubleshooting, and medical services. They ensure that all systems are functioning properly, handle any problems that arise, as well as provide medical care if needed. Next up, red. Crews in red uniforms have heavy duties related to fire hazards, including handling ammunition and explosives on aircraft carriers. They are responsible for ensuring the air environment is safe and ready for flight operations. Next is the brown uniform worn by fighter captains who are responsible for the condition and readiness of the aircraft before flight. They are the primary officer in charge of a particular aircraft and are considered the owner of the aircraft while it is on the aircraft carrier. It is their job as aircraft captains to conduct detailed checks before and after each flight and report any issues that require attention or repair. Next, let's take a look at its weapons system and defense system. On the other hand, aircraft carriers are generally equipped with advanced weapons and defense systems such as anti-aircraft missiles and radar systems to detect threats. Some aircraft carriers even have nuclear reactors as a power source, which can allow them to sail for years without having to refuel, such as the Nimitz-class of aircraft carriers owned by the United States Navy. In addition, aircraft carriers often act as command centers at sea due to their ability to provide rapid airstrip support and are critical in landing site operations. The design of aircraft carrier platforms is very unique and strategic. One of the most distinctive elements is a runway that forms an oblique or diagonal angle called an angled flight deck. The function of the angled flight deck is to increase the safety of fighter operations on board the aircraft carrier. The angled flight deck is used to help fighter aircraft take off from shorter distances, and by using the angled flight deck, aircraft can gain faster lift speeds even if they don't have catapults or launchers available on the aircraft carrier. In addition, the inclined runway is useful as a low-speed aircraft operating system. The inclined runway allows aircraft to perform takeoff landings at a lower speed compared to horizontal takeoff landings. Today, aircraft carriers are equipped with a multi-layered protection system designed to deter enemy attacks. Aircraft carriers are equipped with early warning aircraft capable of conditioning an area of 360 degrees to a distance of hundreds of kilometers. The radar on this aircraft is capable of detecting and identifying targets up to 640 kilometers away. It can track up to 2,000 targets at once and can detect up to 20,000 objects. When used to steer missiles, it can control up to 100 missiles simultaneously. Aircraft carriers are indeed equipped with radar systems. However, by placing the radar on an aircraft flying at high altitude, detection of low objects becomes more effective as it is not obstructed by the horizon. This position allows the aircraft's radar to detect threats at a greater distance. Once a threat is detected, the next step is to address the threat. The first layer of an aircraft carrier's defense system is the fighter aircraft. Fighter aircraft launched from aircraft carriers are tasked with intercepting enemy aircraft and cruise missiles that are deemed threatening. Using air-to-air missiles, these fighters will destroy enemy aircraft or missiles approaching the carrier. And if the threat manages to escape the fighter's ambush, then the attack must pass through the next layer of defense, which is a group of warships escorting the aircraft carrier. The aircraft carrier never operates alone. It always moves together with several surface ships and submarines that are part of the carrier battle group. This group is referred to as the Carrier Strike Group. The aircraft carrier is the core of this group, which is protected by at least one cruiser with an air defense missile system to counter threats from air attacks. These cruisers are ready to launch attacks against enemy fighters and missiles that threaten the Carrier Strike Group. The cruiser's primary weapon is the RIM-66 surface-to-air missile, commonly known as the Standard Missile. There are also other variants such as the RIM-67 and RIM-156, which are capable of reaching targets at longer distances. These missiles are capable of reaching targets as far as 100 kilometers and reaching altitudes of up to 24 kilometers, which is much higher than the flight limit of ordinary fighter aircraft. In addition, the cruiser is also armed with anti-surface missiles such as Harpoon missiles and is also equipped with torpedoes to counter submarine threats. With this combination of weaponry, these cruisers are ready to face various threats at sea and in the air. In addition, the aircraft carrier is also escorted by 1 or 2 submarines that are tasked with searching, detecting, and destroying underwater threats such as enemy submarines, sea mines, and torpedoes. Defense against underwater attacks is also supported by cruisers, destroyers, and helicopters and aircraft equipped with equipment to detect and destroy underwater objects. In addition to warships and submarines, there are also support vessels including logistics supply ships and tankers. These tanker ships act as fuel suppliers for warplanes on aircraft carriers and other escort ships. In addition, logistics supply ships provide food and weapons to all ships in the Carrier Strike Group. If an enemy missile or aircraft manages to escape the interception of fighters and anti-aircraft missiles until it approaches the carrier will use the ISSM-162 RIM missile weapon system to protect itself, The carrier is also equipped with a last-ditch defense system called the Close-In Weapon System, or CWES. This system serves to protect ships from quick threats such as missiles or approaching aircraft. Using extremely fast and accurate automatic weapons, the Close-In Weapon System can dispel these threats in a short time and ensure the safety of the ship and crew in a dangerous situation with a multi-layered protection system. Aircraft carriers are extremely difficult to destroy by current weapon technology. Even if hit, aircraft carriers will not sink easily. Its enormous size makes it difficult for an aircraft carrier to sink with just one attack. Unlike small ships, which can be immediately flooded with air if there is a leak, aircraft carriers are built with a structure of airtight compartments that are separated from each other, making them more resistant to damage and preventing air from flooding the entire hull. If one part of the ship is hit by a missile, air will only enter a few compartments, not the entire hull. However, weapons technology is constantly evolving. Russia and China are now developing hypersonic missiles specifically designed to penetrate aircraft carrier defenses. But are hypersonic missiles really capable of destroying aircraft carriers? It is still a big question that triggers prolonged debate. Until there is real evidence and effectiveness, it will remain a matter of speculation. On the other hand, the country that owns the aircraft carrier will certainly not remain silent. Hypersonic anti-missile protection systems are also in the research and development stage to deal with this new threat. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next content.